Hello people, it's ProTrainer7 here today, and today I'll be discussing 5 reasons why Diamond and Pearl should not be remade for the Switch. Please take into account this is 100% my opinion, and if you do feel offended, I do apologise, but I do feel like this video needs to be made and talked about. Before I begin, this is a bit of a disclaimer. I think I better clear up something for you first. Diamond and Pearl were one of my favourite games of all time. In fact, Gen 4 is probably my top 3 favourite gens of all time. In fact, 2 of my favourite Pokemon games of all time, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, are remakes, aren't they? I honestly think that Diamond and Pearl do not need to be remade. But without further ado, let's get into it. Reason number 1, Pokédex limitation. Since E3 2019 to up to when Sword and Shield were released, there was an uproar from one part of the Pokemon fanbase about the limitations on the Pokédex, and Game Freak basically said that you can only use Pokemon in the Galar Pokédex for use in the Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I feel with the Diamond and Pearl remake, it will just be Sinnoh Pokemon, so I think you'll get the same thing again. There's a lot more Pokemon now than there was back then, and there are 493 Pokemon in the Sinnoh Pokédex. That's National Pokédex at the time, but I honestly think it will take the spotlight off Sword and Shield, which I don't think is very fair, to be honest. Pokemon Sword and Shield are decent games in their own right, and I feel it'll just divide the community again. That's enough said about that bit, on to the next. Reason number 2, it's just too predictable. With every new Nintendo handheld hardware that's ever released, there always seems to be a remake of a past Pokemon type. For example, on the Game Boy Advance, let's start with, you had Fire Red and Leaf Green, which was a remake of Red and Blue. On the Nintendo DS, you had the remakes Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which were some of my favourite Pokemon games, and they're remakes of Gold and Silver, as you probably gathered. And on the 3DS, remakes of the worst Pokemon titles ever, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which are obviously remakes of Ruby and Sapphire from the Game Boy Advance era. But ORAS made up for a lot of mistakes, I think. Let's be honest, that game never really needs to be remade, did it? And with this repeating trend, I feel like that the franchise on the games, well, the games part of the franchise will go stagnant, and then there'll be a never-ending cycle of remakes and new games, remakes and new games. It'll just get boring after a bit. But the reason I think mainly why they remade Ruby and Sapphire is for VGC, really, for the Pentagon rule. There you go. That's my it's not a theory, it's my hypothesis. Theories are backed by evidence. Reason number 3, why can't it be DLC? That rhymes. In light of what we've been told of from Pokemon Day about there being an expansion pass for Pokemon Sword and Shield, why can't the Sinnoh region, if it has to be remade, why can't it be DLC instead of a full physical copy of a game? Because Game Freak said during the presentation, I'm going to leave a link in the description below, by the way, they said in the past they have done additional titles to the generation, like Yellow to Red and Blue, Crystal to Gold and Silver, etc, etc. And I thought with Gen 8 they'll do an expansion pass to expand upon Sword and Shield instead of releasing another physical copy of a game. Another game where you have to start all over again from the beginning, make your way through that boring story mode, rinse and repeat. And frankly, Game Freak have read my mind, because I'm fed up with doing that. If they're going to release a new Pokemon game, hard copy title, I'd want it to be Gen 9. But to be honest with you, in light of this, this is the reason why I'm saying this. In the presentation, they're saying that they're bringing back legendary Pokemon in the Crown Tundra part of the expansion pass. And it's in the video, I've seen it. It's like they've got Palkia and Dialga. You can go to the other part in the Crown Tundra bit and do max raids with them. So we'll be able to catch Palkia and Dialga and Giratina. And before I finish off this segment, I'd rather pay £30 for DLC, and you get near enough new game on top of the old one, rather than £50 for a physical copy where you just got to repeat yourself. To me, it just makes no sense. And on to the next bit. Reason number 4. Artistically, it won't fit in Gen 8. If you look at Pokemon through the years, especially starting from Gen 3, you seem to see, well, I've noticed, that there seems to be a very similar art style. It seems to be like the same kind of overworld view. In Sword and Shield, you don't see that. So recreating a Sinnoh region, they'll have to do it from the ground up. And I think Game Freak probably will not do that because it means remaking the entire thing. And to be honest, it won't be the Sinnoh that you know. You know, for those people who've, like myself, who've played Diamond and Pearl, it won't be the same experience. And where would you put the wild area? It won't be Snow Point Mountain, it's too small. Or the marsh. I think that's all I can say about that bit, to be honest. Reason number 5. Let Game Freak get more creative. Every Pokemon fan agrees that the main series games have been pretty much the same since Gen 1. Only with minor tweaks here and there. So instead of asking them to make an old title, why not give them the room to be more creative? For example, Gen 6 where we had Mega Evolution, which I thought was absolutely amazing for the battling system. And in Gen 8 where we had Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing Pokemon. I'm not going to count Z moves, that's right, I'm British, so I'm saying Z. I'm not going to count the Z moves because they're a bit rubbish, to be honest. And I think we've had a taste of what Game Freak can do with the wild area. And to be fair, that's where I spend most of my time on Pokemon Shield. So why not let Game Freak take chances with it? I honestly think that Gen 8, the current gen that we're in now, is better than a lot more gens that have come before it. I do honestly believe if you give Game Freak the room to breathe, another rhyme, they won't let you down. At the end of the day, they're artists, let them express their art. And don't bring up that tree. The first Pokemon game on a new console never seems to look right. They're just testing the water, to be honest. But other than that, they should be more creative. And that's my 5 points across. Right, this is a short interlude. Just to let you know, I will be putting in the total sales of the main series games in the description below. Right, and now for the last bit of the video. Right, I'm willing to compromise for this, which I don't see a lot in these kind of videos, to be honest. If Diamond and Pearl were to get remade, fair enough, the fans pay the wages, etc. I get it. I think they should have the Let's Go treatment. For example, why not make it Let's Go Chimchar or Piplup? The real reason why Let's Go was made, I know you're going to say it's a Kanto remake. The reason why they were remade is because to bring in Pokemon Go players to the main series titles. But I honestly do think if it was going to get remade, it should have the Let's Go treatment, to be honest. Because we could have 2 sets of main series games. The Let's Go series, which is basically for casual players, and the main series, the main series, like Sword and Shield, for the VGC players. I'm not saying that series is exclusively for VGC players, but you get me drift. And from then, if you do get the Diamond and Pearl remake, but in a Let's Go format, why not transfer them over to Sword and Shield? Because a lot of Pokemon in the Sinnoh region will be catchable in the new DLC content coming out in June. So you're not mucking up the Gala Pokedex. To a degree, the full expansion pass Pokemon have not been revealed yet. And don't forget, we've got the Crown Tundra in the autumn. Or the fall if you're American. And there you have it. There's my points. Well, 5 points and a compromise. If you wish to discuss this further, why not leave a comment down below so we can have a good chat about it. This is my side of the argument. I'm not there to offend you. I just want to put my points across. So why not have a lively discussion? and it'd be good to hear from people what they think. The reasons for Diamond and Pearl to be remade, to be honest. And it'd be nice to hear other people's points of view. But let's be civilised about it. And that concludes my video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh, don't forget to click the notifications. Thank you. Bye.